Good Monday morning. How are you doing? It's Kirsten Liebelt. Good to see you. Monday morning. It must be 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's all I'm going to say. Must be. So how are you doing? It's so good to see you. Let's see here. I had actually written down a few things and then I forgot to look at them before I came on. So if you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. I always love knowing where people come in from. And what was the other thing that I had written down? It's on my phone note. So today is the beginning of the 5-day challenge in the group, you guys, if you haven't heard about this. So ditch insulin resistance for women. Ditch insulin resistance for women. That is a group that I started 16 months ago. And you know what? I'm not a doctor. I'm not an expert. I just like to research things because when my dad died of type 2 diabetes at 63, and he had like this whole lazy Susan full of medicine that I talk about a lot. It triggered something in my brain. And I kind of went like, I don't get it. Like, why, isn't like 21st century medicine supposed to be so amazing? Well, it literally almost hasn't changed in 28 years. And we're like more obese than we've ever been, sicker than we've ever been, more medicated than we've ever been. And it's kind of like, so what's wrong with this picture? So I started the group 16 months ago, and every single month we do a 5-day challenge. And the 5-day challenge is where basically I have an opportunity to like resource and encourage people from a lot of the things that I have, studied, etc. I really appreciate people like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Eric Berg, Maria Emmerich. Those kind of are like my wheelhouse people. And for reasons, everybody for a different reason. So today is the beginning. Hi, Matt. You wish you could stay and watch, but you're on your way to your endocrinologist to talk about getting more CGMs. Okay, Matt, have a really blessed day, okay? It's good to see you. Stop on. You go. And so when I do that, it's an opportunity for people to get kind of resourced and encouraged from just some of the stuff that I like to pay attention to. I feel like that's not quite high enough. There we go. And the response has just been really overwhelming because we have a lot of resistance going on in this universe. Hold on. I think that my battery is just too heavy or something there. Let's see if I can tighten that up. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, and so today, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time is when I start the 5-day challenge in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. So do not forget to do that. And let's see here, Instagram, you're going to pause for just a second. The other thing is, okay. All right, you paused for just a second. I'm back. And the other thing is that the other day, Saturday, Friday, a couple of days ago, I went ahead and I shipped out every month. I apologize. I don't know why this is like failing or falling. I don't want that to be falling on me for Instagram. I mailed out a full box of collagen peptides. And my whole reason for saying that is because every month I give away a free full-size product. And sorry, Instagram, I know this is janky, isn't it? A free full-size product. And so this last month, for the month of October, it was collagen. And every month is different. Sometimes I do like an immunity packs. Sometimes I've done all sorts of things. But I do it for a drawing of people who had if you are on an auto ship, and an auto ship is nothing more than helping you to streamline your life. There's no quotas. There's no weird stuff. There's no gimmicks. There's no whatever, strings attached, nothing. It literally is an opportunity for somebody to put something together where I've never seen anything more customizable. And so it really helps when I'm talking to people and you guys are wanting to stay on track with the program, you guys are wanting to stay, consistent, because otherwise what'll happen is I'll get a lot of texts going, I forgot to reorder and now I'm freaking out. So doing an auto ship just helps you so that you can have something set in place that you don't sabotage, that you don't whatever. And so that has to do with like the trio or any of the supplements that you're taking. If you need help setting that up, I will help you set that up. Super simple. But my whole reason for telling you that is because you can take every single product and customize it. So for instance, if you're taking the vitamin D and you only need one a day, that's going to last you for 90 freaking days. So you want that one product to go every 3 months. But the trio, the three supplements that have the three ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity, you want them to go every month. Okay, I'm going to get off of that topic. I just want you to know, don't forget about the drawing given month. I do that every single month. Okay. Because I really do want to support you guys in your consistency journey. Okay. All right. So let's get chatting. And good to see you. Thank you, Matt. I'm sure you're gone, but thank you. All right. Let's get started today. So you know what? I did a little bit of research this weekend, and I guess I just wanted to make from Botswana. Very nice to meet you. Good morning. Josh, good morning, good morning, good morning. You guys, amazing. Hi, beautiful Magda. Good to see you. Happy Monday, 2:00 Central Standard Time in the group. We're going to start the challenge. It's our 16th one. I'm so excited. I love getting to do this because we are just a community of women that get to encourage each other and really get to kind of come together and go, listen, we're going to become our own advocates and help ourselves be able to finally deal with this insulin resistance, whatever this is, this blah, blah, that we don't really have a lot of information on coming from a medical provider, but there's a ton of really good information online, so we can find stuff out. Good morning, Mary. It starts today, Mary. 2:00 Central Standard Time in the group. And if you can't make it live, the replay will be in the group for you. And the group, for anybody who just is jumping on, it's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And if you are in the balcony of TikTok, come on in and let's chat. I'm going to go through really why it is that if you're insulin resistant, you can't lose weight and how you can turn that around. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about today. And then anybody on TikTok, if you guys will tap the screen, I would super appreciate it. Claudette, good morning from Florida. Good morning. Good to see you. Very good to see you. I would appreciate help stuff to get out into the FYP. TikTok. It's just the way it is. Okay. So I love listening to people like Maria and Craig Emmerich and Dr. Eric Berg and whatnot. And, it's really interesting to me because I just know that there's been the reason why I didn't talk about, keto for so long online is because there's just so much misinformation. And, I feel like the noise can just get to be so loud. But the truth is that if you don't finally just try to dissect what's going on and help people, then, it's how do you lose weight and how do you whatever. So I was listening to Maria and Craig, and they were talking about, your fat cells and how you kind of almost have a predetermined number of fat cells in your body and how when your fat cells get stuffed, and we talk about this all the time, right? How you just can't lose weight, all of these things. Okay. And this is why when she is talking about keto, she's talking about high protein keto. This is so important, you guys. You have to hear this part of the conversation. High protein, moderate fat, and low carb. Not the high fat keto that everybody, fat bombs in your freezer and butter in your coffee, and it's going to be very hard to lose fat when you're taking in that much level of fat. It's just, this is why they created for their own program. I don't teach this program, but I find the value in it where they do a couple of days of where you're lowering your fat threshold actually to about 30 grams of fat. That's not normal every day, though. You don't want to live there because this is not low fat thought process, but it's just the flipping. The high fat keto was developed for epilepsy. So if you are epileptic or you have Alzheimer's or you're trying to, whatever, you've got the beginning stages of something, that's something else to research, high fat keto. Okay. But for people who want to lose weight, that's not what we want to do. So that trips us up. And I know that stalls us out sometimes because we've been so conditioned to think a certain way. So thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. Type 1. Yes. And that is a different conversation, right? Thank you for following though. Thank you for being on here. Am I in the group or just watch them on YouTube? Mary, they will not be on YouTube. The only place that I do the challenge is inside of the group. So you have to be in the group. It won't be on YouTube. Are you watching from YouTube, Mary? Is that where you watch? If you guys are on YouTube, go ahead and hey, Julie, subscribe. That would be great. I just kind of throw my lives over there, but I did notice that somebody got into the group this morning and she said she was following YouTube. And I'm like, oh, see, that's why you put content over there, I guess, right? I always think in my head, when I'm looking at my devices, I'm thinking Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm not thinking about YouTube. So anyway, thank you for liking. Oh, I so appreciate anybody who taps the screen on TikTok. I appreciate it. It's almost like a part-time job. You have to just do this to get things out into the universe. Okay. So basically, I know, nice to see you too, Julie. Nice to see you. Jan, good morning. I will have a great day. You too. God, you guys, you're so fun. Oh, do I see Maria and Craig in their group or YouTube? Oh, that was YouTube. They have a lot of YouTube stuff, Mary. Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Ken Berry, Maria and Craig Emmerich. Most of their stuff is on YouTube, or a lot of it is. And it's really nice to be able to study people like that because, again, you know what? We're just, we're a community of women that are trying to actually like go against the flow of misinformation, whether it's coming from just regular internet information or whether it's coming from medical providers. And so that's actually going to take me right into this conversation of why is it that we can't lose weight? Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Why can't we lose weight when we have not been told that we are insulin resistant, but insulin resistance is like a key component. So let's talk about the keys and let's talk about how you can turn this around. So I'll actually go through some of the signs and everything else. Okay. This is what happens in your body. So, and I say it kind of a lot. So if you follow my content, this might be a tiny repetitious, but this is some of the stuff that I'll go through in the challenge that starts today, because understanding helps it so that you don't feel like then you're making decisions out of complete deprivation. You're not making decisions out of punishment. You're not punishing yourself. You're literally just recognizing some biological facts, and then you're taking action according to biological facts. Okay. So you can be insulin resistant for years before it shows up in your blood sugar levels. Before it shows up there, you can be insulin resistant. And there is phase one. I actually took notes on this. Phase one is called compensatory hyperinsulinemia. Okay. So you're having a lot of insulin in your bloodstream because it's trying to like balance out your sugars. Now, this is very basic conversation. If you sit and listen to anything from Maria and Craig Emmerich, I mean, we're talking high level science, right? Like they're talking at a much different level. There are many factors. Even Dr. Eric Berg, I was listening to some of his stuff, and he was talking about all of the things that insulin actually does do that's so beneficial. Insulin is not the enemy. Your body is just so fearfully and wonderfully made that when we introduce this, overconsumption of carbohydrates for a long period of time, our body just kind of goes, it's like fighting to keep up with what we are doing. Okay. So your body is going to keep on creating insulin, trying to shuttle energy into your cell, trying to, balance out your blood sugars, keep that sugar down. It's going to try to do all of these things for you. And there's like this whole list of what insulin does. It's like amazing. Your pancreas releases insulin. And again, you're just such a miracle the way your body is made. And it's just going to try to keep up. Thank you so much, Miss Never Too Late. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. I so appreciate you. And that is where you're driving, you're keep on creating that insulin, and then you don't even know you're insulin resistant. This is my whole conversation. It's just the same conversation. It's just 500 hours long. You don't even know. And it's same thing with me. Nobody told me I was insulin resistant. I never heard those words, even though now that I understand, I was insulin resistant starting in my 20s. I was gestational diabetic with my first baby and hypoglycemic with my second baby. And then for 20 years, I didn't do anything. Okay. And so Your body is compensating. Phase 1, your body is compensating by producing more insulin to keep blood sugar in normal ranges, but it's not showing up on your tests yet. Your cells are not responding as efficiently to the insulin levels. So resistance is setting in. That cell is starting to go like this and closing the door. So that's why the response is becoming less and less and less over time as your body's trying to kick out so much insulin. So that's number 1, compensatory hyperinsulinemia. And stage number 2 is called the hidden phase. Okay. Normal blood sugar, but high insulin. So now your blood sugars are still looking normal. And this is why you guys are saying to me in the background, why did nobody tell me this? Because now I have this hidden phase of, because they're not checking your fasting insulin. They're checking glucose levels, but they're down because your insulin has been doing such a good job. Okay. Number 3, the signs start to show up. Now, this is just basic, like ChatGPT information. There's way more to this. This is a very scaled back conversation. Okay. But sometimes I really do believe not everybody wants to listen to some of the stuff that I listen to. And if you get to, too in the weeds, sometimes then people are like, you know what, my brain can't take in that information. So let's keep it super simple today. Right. Yes, you're welcome, Mary. The more you learn, the more questions you have. I know, but you know why that is, Mary? And everybody just needs to know this. There are a lot of factors, okay? We can't say on one hand that your body is fearfully and wonderfully made and it's literally a miracle in its running, and say that it's a simple answer for everybody all the time. It doesn't work that way. God has created like this complex system that fires like freakingly amazing, right? But that means then that there are going to be so many different fluctuations that can be introduced, and the body can still, to the best of its ability, deal with it. Like you can throw a lot at your body. So somebody may be raised with, you can actually be very skinny and be insulin resistant. It's not always you're overweight. But most people, that's why my conversation, because my story is that I lost 3 sizes in my 50s once I understood insulin resistance. So that's my story, but that might not be your story, and that's okay. Then, maybe my content doesn't resonate with you, and that is perfect. But you could totally be insulin resistant, and you could totally you can be skinny in type 2. And that's those are the fluctuations, and those are the weird things. And I'm not the scientist, and I'm not the doctor. And my goal isn't to be as educated as Maria and Craig Emmerich. I just want to be able to study and pass on what I understand so that people can get a grasp, because I refuse to live the life that my father lived. I just refuse. What are the collagen types that I have? You know what? That's a really great question. I would have to I just got done talking to somebody about this 2 days ago, and I would have to look at that and tell you what the collagen types are. But thanks for asking, because now you're going to make me go look that up. And I can actually see my packet from here, but I don't think that's going to tell me. I think I have to look into my back office just to see exactly what it looks like. Yes, I will look that up. That's such a good question, because I take collagen. I love collagen. Collagen is extremely important, and you do want, I don't want to get into the weeds here, but you do want reputable sources. One of the things, I'll say this one thing, and I'm going to jump right back on track. One of the things that I was researching this morning is that, because supplementation in the United States is not regulated by the FDA, there can be a lot of different levels of whatever. You can have products that are not third-party tested. They have a lot of fillers in them. What it says on the outside is not what's on the inside. One pill in a bottle could have, 10% of what it says it's supposed to have, and another pill could have 4 times. I mean, it's very concerning, because supplements don't mean without caution. That's not what that means. I'm just saying, like, so number one, know that what you're taking, you're not flushing down the toilet in terms of a collagen. And number two, make sure that when you're taking supplements, and especially when the things that I'm talking about, like if I'm talking about adaptogenic herbs, etc., oh my gosh, don't be going to Walgreens and thinking that everything just because it's on the shelf is safe. I get very concerned about the high dosages that are touted on Amazon as though that's a good thing on certain things. And it just is very disheartening to me because I feel like we're not paying attention. And so maybe what you can do is, so anyway, I don't want to go down that road. I stay within a lane that has a lot of like over 500 scientists and all of that kind of stuff. I just stay in my lane, but I'm going to look that up on collagen. So there are signs before you have high blood sugar. And again, I know that Mary is saying that she even has more questions because that's what happens when you start to study, because you're trying to dissect your universe. So there's a large group of people that are very similar to me. And then there are people who have different factors, and it might be your own prescription meds. It might be your own genetics, right? Because some people have different genetics towards, the amount of fat cells in their body, etc. And you don't really create more fat cells later in life. They just get more stuffed and then they shrink. They get more stuffed and then they shrink. And you're trying to actually stay with smaller fat cells. And you're trying to build more muscle. This is why resistance training is so important, because that's actually going to be, those are the two things that will help you the most. So the signs right before you're going to see high blood sugar, like in your testing, you might see things like this, which is what we are probably here for, most of you. Weight gain, oftentimes it's in the belly, right? Increased cravings. You start to really crave carbohydrates and sugar and all of those things. You're exhausted, fatigue, skin changes. Oftentimes they talk about like dark patches on your neck, sometimes, or in your armpits. Okay. And difficulty losing it. Like no matter what you try, doggone it, I used to be able to lose weight. I used to be able to figure this out. I used to be able to count points. I used to be able to whatever. And you're having such a hard time. These are some of the pieces of insulin resistance that absolutely drive us bonker-olas, because we're like, what the heck is going on? Well, there's a resistance going on in your cells, inside of your fat cells, and you don't want them to be resistant. You want them to be like, open up the floodgates, release fat, take in energy. Like you want good things to be happening inside of your system. That's why this is a cellular conversation. This is not, in my opinion, just trying to tap out your pancreas. Come on, produce more insulin, baby. Come on. And that's what happens with GLP-1s. And so we want a different process. What was number one? Number one is compensatory hyperinsulinemia. This is at the very beginning. Your body is compensating by producing more insulin to keep your blood sugar in normal ranges. And obviously nothing's showing up on your tests yet. And your cells are starting to not respond as effectively to insulin levels. So it's that beginning stage. Stage number two is the hidden phase, where now your insulin is high and your sugars are still low. So they're not taking a fasting insulin and it's not showing up in your glucose levels. And so nobody's talking to you about nothing. They're just like, oh, everything looks good. Those labs look amazing. And they're not, things aren't connecting yet. And you're wondering, yeah, you're welcome, Cheryl. That's number two. And number three are the signs before high blood sugar: weight gain, increased cravings, fatigue, skin changes, difficulty losing weight. Those are just common. Number four is progression then into high blood glucose. Now the blood glucose starts to rise and they say something to you like you're pre-diabetic or you are now officially type 2. And then number 5 is fasting. These are the tests that you can have done. One is a fasting insulin. If you want to get like ahead of the game, ask for a fasting insulin test or a HOMA-IR test, HOMA-IR test. That's combining a fasting insulin and a fasting glucose. So HOMA-IR, fasting insulin and a fasting glucose. And that's even if your glucose is normal, you want to be able to see where you're at. Like, where are you in this phase of rising insulin and glucose not showing up? And whatever. And then it stays high and it's still not showing up. And then it reaches. Okay. And this is where, when you begin to target supplement, you can shift the way that your internal engine is working. And that's what I talk about all the time. That's what I did. And then, learning about how to stop spiking your sugars all the time when you're eating, or calling on insulin, really. And insulin, again, it's not the enemy. Insulin is not the enemy. Insulin is a wonderful, I think Craig Emmerich called it like a thermostat to keep your sugar, your levels really good inside of your blood. Like, you want those levels to be really good. And so it's constantly checking the condition of everything. Like, everything is very precise. That's why you end up with more questions, Mary, because, your specific circumstance, can be different than the average person. So I'm basic, right? Because I'm not a doctor. I'm a very basic information person. Like, I feel like the masses could benefit greatly just by learning how to target supplement to bring down your sugars and your insulin so that you can lose weight, get your liver functioning, because your liver actually metabolizes fat. Let's work on that visceral belly fat, or the visceral belly fat around your organs. Like, let's get that, lift up the hood, work on the engine. Like, you would not do this to your vehicle. You would not let your vehicle go forever so that it eventually you have black, thick, sludgy oil. You would never do that, especially if you bought a brand new car, or you have high payments with high insurance. You would be like, you're waxing that thing, you're taking care of that thing. You're like making sure the oil is changed because you don't want to you don't want to mess up the warranty. Like, you are on it. But we don't do that to the insides of our system. Okay, so that's where the trio comes in. But then also, too, learning how to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with, because there is a mix of ultra-processed foods and seed oils. And the seed oils are high in omega-6. So now we're way off balance with our omega-3s, and we have high inflammation going on. I should have taken down a list of what Dr. Eric Berg was saying, some of the things that could really help. That's why vitamin D is very helpful, because it's anti-inflammatory. Fish oil, a really good fish oil. Again, don't be buying stuff from the marts. If that fish oil is filled with, who knows what, because it wasn't produced very well, now you're just like introducing insult to injury, But number 1, what you want to do is you want to lower your blood glucose. And when you begin to lower your blood glucose, these are the things that you want to have happen that you were wanting to hear. You're going to reduce your fat storage and you're going to have more stable energy. Okay. This is why the testimonies that come in are, oh my gosh, I'm getting back my energy. I haven't had this much energy in years. Okay. Because you lower your blood glucose. So you are reducing the fat storage that's taking place. And number 2, you want to reduce your insulin. So both, which will help to decrease fat storage and improve fat metabolism. Okay? But help your body. That's why I love that the trio addresses the liver. The liver is your fat metabolizing organ, and you want fat to be metabolized in your body. And most people don't talk about that. That was something I had learned from Maria Emmerich a few years ago. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if we just would have some of the basic understanding of how this works. Like, We don't have to know the deep, deep science stuff. Let the experts know the deep, deep science stuff. Let them pour over and read the studies, so that they can debunk what we've been taught, because we've had so many bad studies that have been literally paid off. They paid to do their own studies. I'm talking about like industries. Like if if you're like if you're an agricultural grain industry, maybe you're paying for your own studies. If you're the sugar industry, maybe you're paying for your own studies. Just like when I was raising my babies, it's like, oh, Pampers are the number one, diaper in the world. Nobody's better than Pampers. Like studies have shown over and over and over. Paid for by Pampers industry. Paid for by Pampers company. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? So, but there are now actual studies that are debunking things that we haven't switched in our brains yet, because you're not getting the information, because the Today Show is not going to tell you, because they're paid for. I mean, do you understand? Like, the information is suppressed when a new study comes out and tells you that animal fat does not create heart disease. Who's telling you that? Well, it's not going to be the cereal companies, because the cereal companies are going to tell you that like it's healthier to eat Lucky Charms than to eat beef. That's the insanity of what they have us believing now, which is really bad. Okay, so you want to lower your blood glucose, you want to reduce your insulin, because both of them, when you do that, you're starting to reduce your fat storage, you're stabilizing your energy, and you are improving your fat metabolism. So the keys to helping your universe, and this is exactly what we'll go into this week in the challenge. So the group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. You can search it, or you can go onto my site, my first last name, kirstenliebelt.com. It's one page. Scroll up and you'll see a Facebook blue button, and you can click on that and get into the group. And we do this every month. This is our 16th one. So 2:00 Central Standard Time today is the kickoff for the 5-day challenge. And I feel like the beauty of this conversation is that, it takes time to reprogram the mind, because we have so much marketing coming at us all the time. We have so much information that is working to manipulate us all the time. And we have to just get down to some of the basics. And then when we can understand some of the basics, we can actually take steps that make us feel. Thank you so much for liking Bodacious Gal. I love that so much. I love you. Thank you. Thank you. You can reprogram yourself with proper information. You don't have to be biased towards the information. If it's coming from, if the company Cheerios is telling you that they're heart healthy, they're lying to you. I'm just going to be like straight up. We have to get back to getting rid of ultra processed foods, which that's what that is. It's ultra processed. Okay. Anything that we went through this. I don't think I have my notes on that. We went through this the other day, what the definition of ultra processed was. I don't think I have that. Let me see here. And there is actually a definition. There's a technical, nope, that's not it. There's a technical definition where it's like, it has, flavors and preservatives, and I'm not going to remember everything on there. But there's this whole factory. It's filled with chemicals. It's filled with, which is what that is. Like, all of our grains are being sprayed with glyphosate and all of these things. And this ultra processed food is just wrecking, like a train wreck, our metabolic system. And that they are lying to you when Time Magazine comes out and tells you that, ultra processed food really isn't that bad after all. It's like, you are just little stinkers is what you are. Thank you for sharing. I mean, honestly, it's just criminal what they're doing. And this is why we now have all of these issues, even in our children. Our children have fatty liver. Our children have very high obesity rates. We're finding all sorts of things in our kids that should never be. Fatty liver used to only be in alcoholics like 50 years ago. So we have an actual massive epidemic problem going on in our country. So what we can do now is we literally can work on our engines from the inside out. That's when I talk about targeted supplements, but we can learn to change out our ingredients. And I am like the biggest offender of not thinking that I could, and the Italian really holding on to long-standing emotional connections to food. I didn't trade things out until I was like in my 50s, you guys. This should give everybody hope. But we get back to real food, real meat, real, not processed meat. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about you can't have, canned chicken where it's, when I say processed, I don't mean that it's been pulled apart. I mean, and you got to make sure, listen, I was looking at canned chicken the other day, and because I was going to make little chicken nuggets for my grandsons. And it's hard to find decent ingredients. And you're going to pay more. They're going to make you pay more. And so, but I found what I needed. And again, I'm not talking about a machine shredded the chicken. That's not the processing that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the all of the foods that are filled with chemicals, preservatives, seed oils. Those are the types of things that are really messing us up. Good morning, Anna. Oh, you are a sweetheart, Anna. Thank you for being on my TikTok. You know, that makes me so thankful. I'm so happy to have people tap on TikTok, just the way that it is. Carla, good to see you. You're glad to be here. Oh, I'm so glad that you are here. I'm so glad. So we have to fix both things though. But you know what? It's so doable. And I feel like that's the message I want to get across. Listen, if I can do this, anybody can do this. And you don't even have to be like Vicky, good morning. Good to see you. You don't have to be a geek like I am and want to like even listen to some of the stuff that I listen to, but I just want basic understanding so that I can give basic understanding, because I'm so convinced that you can literally turn this around and that you can have a completely different world. And is there more to know if you have different factors going on? Of course. Of course. Like, do I only take the trio, those 3 supplements? No, I take more than that. But those are my choices, right? Like, I want to be able to function at a high level because I'm 59 and I'm not on any meds. And my goal is to stay that way. My goal is I'm the only one in my family that avoided type 2. And I'm the one that started with supplementation and not with meds. So when I talk about supplementation with people, this is like coming from experience and testimonies. Lots and lots and lots of testimonies. Those 3 little supplements, you can go to my Instagram. There's a pink highlight bubble at the top, and you can look there at all of those testimonies. And you can also, I just instituted today. Okay, this is interesting. Took me a long time to make this decision because I love having one-on-one conversations with you. I'm always seeking conversation because then I can help you. Like, I don't want you buying a bunch of stuff that you don't need. I know that's counterintuitive because this is my business, but still, I want you to have what you need for your own body, right? So, but I also want you to feel encouraged. I want you to know about the group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I want you to be able to get resourced. I want you to be able to feel like you're supported. We do the challenge every month because then during this month of you taking your supplements, taking your 3 trio supplements, I'll grab 3 of them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. When you're taking your trio and you're in the group and you're learning how to change out your ingredients, and then maybe the challenge is done and you get a little discouraged and you had a bad weekend and you went to a wedding and you did what you shouldn't do and you're whatever. We're going to have another challenge in October, and then we'll do another one in November. And let's keep this track going so that you have an opportunity to literally shift the way that you think and the pantry that's in your kitchen. Because I'll do a pantry and a fridge reveal. Because You do both. You have to get under your hood and you have to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with. But the reason why this is such an important conversation every freaking single day is because this is not a terminal diagnosis. You hear me say this all the time. This is ridiculous that this is being treated as a terminal diagnosis. Meaning, like, oh, you're not, you don't just think that you can do simple things. And again, I understand there are many levels, right? I'm the simple person and I avoided the difficult things. So if somebody has more difficult things than me, then it might take your ship a little different time to turn around. Can we all agree on that? Can we all agree that everybody is on a different level of the spectrum? And some people might need to dig into deeper information than what I provide. That's perfect. Like, that's why I tell you, Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Ken Berry, Maria Emmerich, like, go and listen and see what you can find that is resonating with your specific circumstances. You would have never known that I'm Italian if it wasn't for my laugh. That's hysterical. Yes. Well, I don't know. That's really funny. That's funny. Yes, we're very loud people. We're very like, but and it's so funny. I talked about this the other day because I was really, the things that are told to us when we're little, I was always told, like, because when you want to talk, of course, teachers don't like that. So teachers are, that goes on your report card, she talks too much or whatever. And, somebody will say, oh, don't you exhaust yourself? And, whatever it is, or, being boisterous or loud, or, my aunt that I just connected with so much. I mean, talk about Italian, and she just had jewelry everywhere. And as a little girl, I just loved her loudness and her zest for life, and so what somebody might say is too much or whatever, I just, be who you're supposed to be. Like, oh my gosh, you don't have time to waste trying to, like, make anybody else happy. So pipe time. I know. I had a boy in the 5th grade. I'm not going to name him because you never know. In the 5th grade, he was naming girls after songs that were common. And I was born in 65. So whatever age I'm in the 5th grade, I was probably 11. And he nicknamed me Jive Talkin' because I just talk a lot. Jive talking. I'm like, oh, I don't think I like that. I mean, I kind of took that as like, whatever, but stay the course, repeat the plan. You are on a continuing voyage. I know, Carla, I'm so grateful for you. And I'm so grateful that you're on your own journey. It does take time for some. And you know what? You just have to stay plugged in. You gotta stay plugged in, and you just have to accept the fact that this is a journey. Like, stop expecting and requiring everything to be fast and easy and without further research. Sometimes people get super fast results. I'm always excited to share those with people, but then somebody else might hear the fast results and get discouraged. And it's like, so on a daily basis, I'm talking to people in my inboxes. And so sometimes people are sharing testimonies, and sometimes people just need to be encouraged because it does take time. And you just, what? You have a lot of factors in your own world. So just be willing to walk your own journey so that you can have the life that you want. Most everything in my life has always taken longer than I wanted it to take. Always. That's just that's been. And I feel like that's more common than not. Rarely does, overnight success, that doesn't exist. Maybe overnight being seen by people, like, every single person you ever listen to that's been interviewed, like by, whether they're a celebrity or whatever, they're like, or a very multi-millionaire business person. It doesn't happen overnight. You build something. You build your resume, your success. When it comes to your health, you're building something. You're building a better version of yourself. Be okay with that. Build yourself a better version. So that's kind of what I want to say about. Thank you so much for sharing. I so appreciate you. I know. Jive talking. I remember that song. Oh my stars. I mean, I can still remember their names. Can you remember the names of the guys in your fifth grade, sixth grade? I remember their names. Kind of funny. Anyway, but I I'm 59, so you never know if people are even still alive, right? I mean, you never know. But anyway, so for today, you know what? If you need information on the trio, always reach out to me, okay? Oh, this is what I did. So, okay, I seek conversation. So if you're on Instagram, and it's only on Instagram right now, I have attached to a few of my videos because I had a video go very viral over the weekend, and that's not the goal, but it just happened. But it's a video from the end of July, and so it's attached now to, and not every single video that I have on there, but when somebody does put the word trio on certain trio or list on certain reels, you'll get instant information so that people don't get lost in the mix. So if you're ever seeking information, you can DM me, you can text me, you can go to my Instagram and take advantage of, I'm going to expand that a little bit just to be able to help people get faster information, because when something goes viral, I'm only one person. And so answering everybody when you have 4,000 messages, that's hard, right? And then people get lost in the cracks. And that is so not ever my intention. I don't want people to get lost in the cracks, because the truth is that we already self-sabotage. We already hold ourselves back from getting the information we need to move forward, because maybe we're afraid of commitment. Maybe we just have a lot of negative self-talk. And so we're constantly telling ourselves, that's just another thing that's not going to work for you, because nothing's ever going to work for you, or whatever, right? And I don't want to do that. I don't want to get in the way of you taking action to move forward. So the two things that you can do is, number one, look into the trio. The testimonies are on the top of my Instagram page in a pink highlight bubble, or you can look at some of the testimonies that are in guide number 4 in the group Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And number 2, get in the group if you're not in there, because I'm going to teach you how consistency with these 3 and changing out your food ingredients can completely change what's going on with your body from the inside out. But then the results can be bringing down sugars, bringing down insulin, losing weight. I had a customer get off of 2 BP meds this summer, because it's all connected. So if you need anything, don't forget that I'm here, okay? And then 2 o'clock Central Standard Time starting today, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go live in the group, and you can jump on and join in. And then if you have questions, you can ask me questions, and I'll help you even further. And when you get in there, you will eventually get tagged in a free recipe PDF, pantry recipe PDF. Like, it's just for your resourcing capability. And then the challenge is free. You don't even have to sign up. There's no fee. You literally are investing your own time. You're investing into your own journey, and you're investing into your own, switching how your engine is running. That's the soul of what you're doing. Somebody asked me over the weekend, I'll end with this. She asked me, well, so are you certified in a program? How much is this program? Thinking maybe it was really expensive and whatever. There's this whole big umbrella to what I'm talking about. And I'm like, oh no, no. And I know that that's hard for people to understand, because that's not normally how it goes, right? How do you get all this free information or whatever free stuff I'm looking up and researching for people, and then have, something that's actually producing results for people. And, because that's not my goal. My goal is not to, I'm not looking to build another business. I've done coaching. I've done many different things with this and inside of this space for quite a few years now. And I just know what I want. And I know what some people actually do need more than what I have to offer. And that's okay. That's very good, right? Because there are people that are healing from autoimmune conditions, and they're healing from all sorts of medical, whatever, upheavals. I am wanting to spread the word that, listen, not only can you lose weight once you start to use the lens of insulin resistance, Once you do that, but you can also begin to turn your body back. You can start to literally lose fat pockets off of your body because you get your body to burn fat for fuel instead of its what it wants to burn, which is sugar. But when you deny it of glucose, you can burn fat. And you want to be able to burn fat, and you want to be able to do it without losing muscle. So this is a whole conversation, and there are many, many levels to this that I know are the benefits. Like, I can talk to you about weight loss, and I can talk to you about simple supplementation. Oh, see you at 2. You had a delayed reaction to your grand's birthday concerning sugar, so you made the lemon blueberry cake. Good job. It helped you with your food noise and cravings. Amen. Satisfied your food noise and cravings. Fantastic. I can talk to you about weight loss, and I also know it's helping your liver function, which metabolizes your fat. But I also know that I have a client that, taking the liver supplement, her numbers were cut in half in 45 days. So I know all of these things from different testimonies, how much it's helped on different levels, but that's not necessarily my main position. My main position isn't to tell you all of the medical things, even though I secretly know all of the amazing things with the visceral belly fat around your organs and your liver. And I know all of these things. So many good things happen. But if I can start at the basic conversation about weight loss, that's where I want to start. And then I want to teach people how to fit ingredients, because you can change the way that your body is functioning. And you can do it without allowing food pushers in your life to derail you. And you can do it without shame, thinking that it's just you being a big fat loser you don't have any willpower. What's wrong with you? You don't have to live like that anymore. So collectively, we can be a group of women that say, you know what, you guys over there in the matrix, you just need to shut up, because you're not giving me what I need to actually turn this around. You're telling me bad things. You're telling me I can have 150 grams of carbs a day. You're telling me that that all my tests look fine, but yet here I am gaining weight and I can't lose a pound to save my life. You're telling me blah, 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 whatever it is. And so collectively we can say, you know what? You guys just need to be quiet now. I'm going to learn some basics so that I can actually lose weight. Like I said, I've lost 3 sizes in my 50s doing exactly what I'm telling you. And I'm just going to take back my own health, because I don't have a terminal diagnosis that requires a team of doctors. This requires me to just take a couple of simple steps, think for myself, and learn how to trade out an ingredient, learn how to create a different pantry, learn how to create a different fridge. Okay? That's the simplicity of what I talk about. Even though I know it's doing more, it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is, because I'm not looking to go get a degree, right? That's not my goal. I'm very clear in what I'm trying to accomplish in my world. So for myself and my family and everything else, I want to have energy and get on the floor with my grandbabies and create more memories and travel with my family and do the things that I want to do and feel comfortable on an airplane, and be able to use the seatbelt. And you know what I'm saying? Like, if I go on a ride at Disney World, I want to be able to go on a ride at Disney World. I want to be able to, whatever it is, everybody's got something different that they are wanting out of if your body was at a more optimal weight and optimal energy, what would you do with that for you? I know what mine are. I'm so not confused. I know exactly what mine are, but you have to decide that for yourself. So I will see you at 2:00 Central Standard Time in the group, and we will chat. We'll do literally 5 days this week, and we're going to have so much fun. This is what we do. We have a total blast, and get you resourced and educated, and you can ask questions. And don't let today end without you getting some questions answered. If I sparked something in you and you want to know about the trio, reach out to me or put it in the comments on Facebook, or get into my messenger or my DMs on Instagram, or text me. Don't go the day without getting questions answered about targeted supplementation or getting in the group Ditch Insistence for Women to see the challenge at 2:00 Central Standard Time. Or if something sparked you and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go look up on YouTube right now. I'm going to see what Dr. Eric Berg says about that. It's just, you know what I mean? Like, take the steps that you need and don't sabotage yourself. Don't sabotage what could be your life in a completely different place, even in like 4 months, 6 months, a year. Time's going to pass anyway. So put yourself first, be super selfish about your health, because then you can like serve everybody else, right? Oxygen mask on yourself first. That's the whole idea. And I'll see you at 2:00. I'm so excited. And if I do things on, I'm surprised. There we go. Confetti on Instagram. See, we can do stuff on Instagram. There we go. There we go. And I don't remember what else I've done on Instagram. Things happen. If I do different things, it'll give me fireworks and all sorts of stuff. But anyway, all right. Have a super blessed day, you guys. I can't wait to see you at 2. It's going to be an amazing week. Not just because of the challenge. It's just going to be an amazing week. Here we are in September. Beautiful week. Have a great, great day.